We threw out something yesterday. We'll get to it when we get to the RPO. The most toxic fan bases in sports. I would like for people to rate their own fan bases. If you're a Georgia fan, how would you describe, good, bad, and otherwise, the totality of your fan base? If you're an Ole Miss man or woman, how would you describe it? Tennessee, same thing. Georgia Tech, Clemson, and it just gets to a conversation about, who is right there at the line or goes over the line when you're talking about fandom in college football.
I don't know why you guys always, when you bring this up, you look right at me.
You're a little bit low. I think they had you 5th on that list. The Miami Hurricanes were 5th.
I think we were 6th.
6th? Was it that? Yeah, it was too low. You guys are top 3.
We're top 3, no doubt. Our toxicity is based on how good we are. Actually, no, it doesn't matter. We're toxic regardless. Actually, the worse we are, the more toxic we are. Because then we just start going after everybody.
I think
coaches, players, fans.
We have to define what toxic is because, fans are going to be passionate about their team. When I think about toxic, it's going over the line, being aggressive, and almost looking to cause trouble. It's one thing to talk a little trash about beating a rival or who your team is. It's another thing to ramp up the energy. We're almost looking for a fight. And that's where I get into toxic conversation. The folks I think about, Alabama folks, they kind of get to the line and they go over. Miami, you get to the line and you go over. Tennessee, they get to the line and they go over. Those are the fan bases that I would think would be near the top.
You think we go over the line? We're just passionate.
I've seen you in action. Not you. I've seen Miami fans walk through Georgia Tech's campus, and they're trash talking, and sometimes there's an older crowd of Georgia Tech fans, and I've seen them talk trash to older people, older fans, older women, taunting. Yes, I've seen it. Not what somebody told me, John Michaels. I've seen Miami Hurricane fans.
I think you're jaded because you're married to somebody who graduated from Florida State.
No,
there's an innate hatred you have in that household. Your dogs don't even like Miami.
She went there. I didn't attend school there, so I get to see it from all angles.
What is the exact description or definition you're talking about when you think about toxic fan bases?
I'm telling you, the energy.
I think it's part to the point of you're just looking for something at the tailgate. You're taunting people walking by, not just taunting, like you're MFing them. You're doing a lot of things to go too far. You're running up in people's faces. Those are the toxic ones. The social media, what I'm going to do to you when I see you. Just general jerkism.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
231-1680. I would like for you to do a self-assessment on your fan base. But if you want to call out another fan base, that is fine because a lot of folks co-mingle with one another on Saturday afternoons.
AI overview. Toxic fan base refers to a group of fans whose behavior is consistently negative, harmful, and often disruptive towards other members of the fan base.
Negative.
Harmful, disruptive. This can include online bullying.
Yes.
Harassment.
Okay.
What the hell is doxing? DOXX.
Oh, that's
where you're giving out like their address or their personal information.
If I dox you, then I put out all your stuff on social media.
Or other behaviors that can have serious negative impacts. So you guys involved in that kind of stuff?
Me?
No. Your fan base. Yeah. Online bullying, harassment.
I can see
that happened.
Tennessee doing that.
Georgia did that when going back to when that referee blew the call against Texas. His business info was put out there on some of the message boards.
That would be Matt Lear.
Eye for an eye.
It was a Tennessee fan that did it to Carson Beck, put his information out.
Stetson Bennett, his phone, and that's when he did the famous put his hand up to his...
That's right.
I don't know how famous.
You can go dogs.
He means one of the most famous.
It's famous.
Okay.
It's on a T-shirt.
Oh, not on my T-shirt.
Hater.
Still won't give that man his credit. 2-time national champ, back-to-back, and you won't give Stetson Bennett.
It's like Brock Purdy. I'm not paying him or Stetson Bennett.
You wouldn't, and you should. You should pay him both. 404-231-1680. Scott, you're up first. Thank you for calling us. Give us your assessment on some toxic fan bases.
All right, morning, guys. So, full disclosure, massive Georgia fan. I've been since 1985, 8 years old. So I didn't jump on any bandwagon like a lot of these folks. I think with Georgia, we have two factions. We have the people who actually have a connection to the school. And, I mean, this is not abnormal. But the ones that have a connection to the school are fairly measured, fairly disciplined on game day, all that kind of stuff. And then we have the other lunatic nut jobs like used to work at your station who bark at anybody that has the other colors and all that nonsense. So I think we fit somewhere in that top 10. But without a doubt, over time, forget the coach, forget the roster, it's Alabama. Their people have a level of arrogance and a level of nastiness overall towards everybody else that defies logic at times when you come from a state that's so lame. And I think partially that's maybe the deal is they have this inferiority complex about the fact that the state of Alabama pretty much kind of sucks, that they then want to throw that their sports teams are so awesome. But hey, Tennessee's got its moments, Florida's got its moments, but Alabama takes the cake.
There you go.
I love it. That was a solid call. Thanks for the call, Scott. The number you called, 404-231-168. Alabama, would you like to respond?
Yeah.
The floor is yours if you want to refute or rebut.
Nice shout out to Brian Hoyt, too.
Yeah.
That was good. That was amazing. Hammer time.
Did Hoyt go? Well, he
was over the top.
Did
was
he?
over the
No, I'm saying, I was about to say,
obnoxious.
did he take his fandom to attacking other fans?
Yes.
Almost done, bitches.
Go look at his social media during Georgia games. He was all over.
He was king of the trolls.
I mean, yeah.
He didn't mind chirping in the stands either if there was somebody near him.
He's a new king.
So maybe he is an example of one. But he did say, admittedly, that Georgia has two factions. The measured crowd who, they know the order of operations, and then the folks that turn the switch on and won't turn it off.
Right. You know what? That's going to be part of it, but I don't think that just has to do with whether you go to school there or not. I've seen students that are just complete over-the-top jerks that go to school.
You've been butthurt since 92.
Maybe I have. I don't know.
Trash talk has
Be
never...
honest about your feelings. It's emotional for you.
Trash talk, one way or the other, never bothers me. I think it's just part of competition, being in a game.
But there's ways to do it. It can be like mean-spirited and angry, or it can be fun and kind of like poking, taking jabs, but not like super disrespectful.
There are people, he used the word arrogant, talking about Alabama, but they have earned a right after the Saban era to be arrogant. It's the folks that haven't earned the right.
I don't know what that means. How do you earn a right? Because your football team's great, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
say
they're
whatever
whooping
you want.
everybody.
I
You're
would say,
whooping everybody.
Georgia
There's still a
fans
way to behave.
Georgia fans became more arrogant when they won.
Yeah, so I would say
no doubt about it.
The opposite. You don't earn the right to be a jerk.
No, I agree.
You become a jerk if your team's really good, I guess you're telling me?
That makes no sense to me.
Will we be jerks if the Falcons won a Super Bowl? I think we would.
Yeah, we would.
Happy.
No,
We'd be
not
relieved.
for 1 second. See, that's the
Home
Miami
team,
mentality.
we would
over
100%
there.
beat you.
Oh, my
You
gosh.
think we wouldn't be talking
It'd be the
trash to
same
every
stuff.
Saint fan that walked
But we
by?
talk
that's
trash to
different.
the Saints fans anyway.
Yeah, but even more so, because you know what their only comeback is right now? We have a Super Bowl and you don't.
It was dirty. It was dirty. It was cheated.
It doesn't matter. It's
dirty.
They still have it. They've got a ring.
Yeah, I got a lot in the chamber for if and when we win one.
Yeah.
But who are we going after?
No, but
Were we not kind of, well, we weren't. Baseball
I'm more
fans
worried
are
about
different.
celebrating my team as opposed to pushing in
I
somebody
don't-
else's face.
I'm gonna let 'em have
I
it.
don't think we will become a toxic NFL fan base. The Braves have won.
Yes, we would.
I don't think Braves country is an arrogant
Braves
fan
country
base.
is different. Falcon fans and Braves country, while they may be one and the same, if the Falcons win a Super Bowl, you've got 60 plus years of pent up frustration, pent up disappointment. There's going to be a level of jerk that comes out of the
I
city.
don't know.
Maybe not quite Philadelphia, but it's not going to be far
Not-
from
I don't
it.
know.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't know who we would point it at other than the Saints. You know,
And
I
the
don't know.
Panthers and the Buccaneers and the Patriots and anybody else that'll listen.
Malik, you're up next. Thank you for calling us here in the locker room.
Yo,
Oh, I'm sorry,
What up?
Milk. I thought it said Malik. Sorry about that, Milk.
that's all good. Hey, this one's for John Michaels. We were talking about how people that attend a certain university could be more measured versus people that are just fans of a school. Miami fans are absolutely the most obnoxious because it's a private school, and most of them had no business even sniffing the school. But the ones that are just Walmart Hurricane fans, oh my God! In the early 2000s and 90s, oh my God! Just throw rocks at them. These guys are the worst.
Unbearable.
Thanks for the call,
First of all,
Milk.
we should, they don't sell Miami gear at Walmart. We get it at much
Walmart.
better stores than that.
Walmart.
Yeah, I'm
Goodness
sure.
gracious.
They sell Florida gear at Walmart.
Jack,
Kmart.
Jack, you're up next. Thank you for calling us here in the locker room.
Bro, I'm an Auburn fan, but the worst fans are Alabama fans. I got a brother in my family that was an Auburn fan all his life. They started winning. Now he's the biggest Bama fan in the world. And I just don't understand. They're the most obnoxious. But Georgia is a close second. Georgia, like y'all been winning forever.
Thanks for the call.
Yeah,
It's
that
ramped up a
winning
little
does
bit.
affect it. Because so far, who have we talked about? Alabama.
Get the hell out of Tuscaloosa.
Georgia, and Miami made one from the rafters.
Well, look,
because they were big time winners back when they were at Walmart buying their jerseys
we
and
go
t-shirts.
to Canes. Where are all Canes? We do not go to Walmart. But Ohio State's the same way. They're winners right now. You know what? Again, you brought it up yesterday. We've got a level of crazy associated with Ohio State, but it is. The winners or people that have historically been winners are the ones that talk the most. Florida fans chirp till their skull falls out of their sleeves. Florida State fans won't show. They went 2-10, and you would think they were undefeated last year the way they talk on social media.
But they still have, kind of the Florida State, they have the cachet because Florida had its window. Florida State had one last decade. They've had Heisman Trophy winners, so they have some cachet, even though it hadn't come in groups like Alabama and Georgia.
And there's also an in-your-face aspect about the teams. You think about the teams that have been great. Alabama was in your face, and it had nothing to do with the fans because their team played a certain way. They were tough. They were physical. They beat the hell out of you. People didn't like that. Then they had a coach who came across as a jerk. Well, their fans took that and kind of ran with it as well. Urban Meyer is one of the biggest jerks that's ever coached. Think about the places he's been and how their fan bases act. Florida and Ohio State. They followed in the line of Mr. Barcrawl.
So you're saying if your coach has like jerk vibes, then it bleeds down. Urban Meyer.
Jimmy Johnson.
Was Jimmy a jerk?
Oh, yeah, Jimmy was a jerk in college.
All right,
he literally told Notre Dame when they ran Jerry Faust out of town 58-7, they were up 44-7 still throwing the ball. They asked Jimmy Johnson about throwing the ball. He goes, well, my backups practice hard. They want to play as well.
Chin, you're up next. Thank you for calling us here in the locker room.
Hey, love you guys. Love the show, man. Like, I'm going to give you one group that's not a winner, and it's just crazy. Like, this is how old I am. Like, 20 years ago, I'm a Georgia Tech grad, and I worked around Clemson. But every time NC State would come to town, it was bizarre. Like you would see the townies, because they were in Triangle, they'd be very preppy. They'd come on down. They were good people. But then, like, the other NC State fans, you're like, holy cow, Country Mouse done come to the city and lost his mind. It's like you and your Jed Clampett truck and your bathtub hooch is going to come down here, leave, like, your bags of, like, Hardee's in other people's, like, back of their truck bed and, like, dog poop on top of, like, wood. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Like, you would see, like, folks would be like, what happened to your car? It's like, oh, it got scratched up by the NC State game. And, like, you would just accept it. And I don't know what is going on. Like I said, the Triangle NC State fans, great people. Outside of that, it's like the peacocks from the X-Files. Talk to you guys later.
Thanks for the call.
The Jed Clampett clan.
He
Who's
said
Jed Clampett?
Clampett
I have
trucks.
no idea.
And
I looked from the Beverly Hillbillies.
That's what it was, Beverly Hillbillies.
He said Clampett trucks and bathtub hooch. I need to give that man something. That's
amazing.
Elite
I've been to NC
trolling.
State. I went to a game at Raleigh.
Downtown Raleigh. It's not country. That's in a city. It's
Yeah,
the
but
capital of North
he said
Carolina.
the Triangle fans are fine. It's the ones outside of the Triangle. I'll tell you, North Carolina fans were way worse than NC State. Way worse.
I've never heard a Carolina fan talk smack. Now,
I was told to get on a raft and go back to an island right south of Key West.
I have heard.
And I was like, I'm Caucasian.
Wolfpack folks get a little mouthy. I have been surprised that this one came this late. James, you're up next. Thank you for calling us here in the locker room.
Yeah, man. Hey, UT deserves all the credit in the world for being trash talk. I sat in Neyland Stadium. I'll tell you how far back this is, when Manning wore our ass out. And when he did, man, I heard Rocky Top in both ears side by side until we just about had to fight our way out of there. Over and over. And then a few years after that, they come into Sanford Stadium, take an absolute beat down and run of that mouth. It's amazing. Those guys, man, take it to the absolute. There is no edge. They just go straight for it. And, hey, mouth runner, beware of what may happen.
All right.
Thanks for the
Hopefully
call.
It does get to that point. That's where we have a problem. When it starts to become, we're close to like throwing, which should never happen as an adult, in my humble opinion. But alcohol takes over and emotions get the best of you sometimes.
Testosterone.
Yeah. So interesting.
Where have you guys been to a college game where you've seen like a brouhaha?
Yeah.
Like a huge brawl?
No.
Yeah.
No.
In a parking lot, not in a stadium. I've never seen one in the stadium.
I don't want to see it. I don't hope it never happens again. It's a sad state.
I got to find
affairs.
the video.
I don't know how it ever gets to that level
what I'm saying,
of violence.
Obviously.
No matter what you say, we're not playing. I'm not involved. I'm trying to go home. Why would I be fighting somebody over a game I'm not involved in?
Now, in Philly, it's different because they're throwing stuff at you or taking your hat or ripping stuff off your head or
And those are the
spitting
women.
on you or whatever.
Those are their ladies.
That's exactly right. So that becomes a problem. That's a toxic fan base up there. Philadelphia Eagles fans. But as long as it's just banter, back and forth, and nobody's getting hurt, it should never escalate that.
So I ask you guys, and I'm the one here that goes to more college football games out of town. How do you feel about tailgating at places that you're not at home? Like, well, Road Dogg different. You're working. You're everywhere. But you can't go tailgate. How do you guys feel, you show up at, I don't know, you're a Georgia fan and you go to Tennessee and you're down in Knoxville and you're tailgating amongst the Tennessee folks.
I think it's fine as long as you just kind of watch your mouth and attitude. If you go in.
We did it. Aaron and I did it last year up in Tennessee.
No problems, right?
No problems.
Yeah, if you're just going in, eating, drinking, everybody's going to the game.
And I think that's the key to this. Is there toxicity with everybody? Sure. But if you walk in and you just, hey, how you doing? Cool. So most people are going to chill.
Right. I would agree with that.
Don't make the assumption, though, and that's why I say you just have to, be mature when you're on the road. The assumption that everybody's going to be sophisticated, that they're going to be well-mannered, that they're going to not be violent is not an assumption you should make.
No, you definitely have to be like a gunner on special teams and have your head on the swivel.
How you doing? Sip your beer. Walk in with people who have the same jersey on and just go mind your business. You go in there talking smack, somebody might have some bail money and they might be a little froggy. So, I think you just got to watch your attitude.
Knuckles at all times.
All right, we'll take more of your phone calls on the other side. 404-231-1680. Oh, we have some honorable mentions. Some folks want to lay in to folks they think are toxic fan bases. All right, coming up. Welcome back in to the locker room on the Fan, 680, 93.7 FM. Home team, Brian Finneran, John Michaels. Our 8 o'clock hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air, one of the few second-generation locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. With Central, you're not just a number. You're a member of the family. Football getting ready to ramp up as the Falcons will begin their 3-day rookie mini camp May 9th. So right around the corner where the Falcons are, we'll see what the rookies look and sound like for the first time in their Falcon uniforms.
Yeah, our new buddy Andrew Groover.
Yeah.
Groove Master. What's his nickname? Andy?
Groover.
Groover?
Yeah.
That's not very
He's
creative.
a Bama fan, so we got
one of the toxic fan bases.
I did not ask him who his team was. He's a Bama?
About that? Yeah, he was excited.
No, he has not
tweeted
been.
us.
Oh.
He said they wear it like a badge of honor.
Oh.
He said inject the hate into his veins.
He asked me if I
Trust me,
wanted
you don't have
to
to
go
worry about
up to Falcons mini camp with him and check out some of the stuff. So that's on Friday they begin?
On the 9th. That's correct.
They're going to be on the field doing stuff, or I just got to go up there?
You got to go sit in the room with D-Lad.
I cannot. I refuse. I swear to God.
And not
Maybe
go
I'll
out.
call Coach Raheem Raheem Morris, and get his name right, and then ask him if I can get on the field up there.
He might let you go.
As a former player?
Yeah, he might let you go. Probably work a relationship, too. So
maybe hand him a phone and be like, hey, we're going to get you on the station.
I mean, you are a Falcon legend. I mean, he was going to tell him no. Then make him look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can use that card. Go out there and see some stuff with your own eyes.
Speaking of Falcon legends, the Falcon fan cruise is coming up in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So
you've gotten about 1,000 push-ups in the last weekend.
Listen, buddy.
Are you bikini ready?
I got the old Mike Bell theory going on here, so I can just cover the chest over the gut. We might be able to pull this thing off. Isn't that a thing that he talked about?
Well, the pool, it's called do the hippo.
Right.
You just stay from chest up. That's
the rest
my
stays
theory,
in the
too.
water.
Yeah, that's my
That's
theory
hilarious.
as well.
So Harry Douglas, Gerald Riggs, Mud Duck, Buddy Curry, Chris Moore, Jesse Tuggle, Ray Buchanan, Ovi, Michael Turner, myself, Alan Rossum, Jay Norwood.
Here's a good thing. You're in better shape than at least half of those guys you just named.
Have you seen Ovi Muhaley lately?
He's lost a lot of weight.
Ozempic.
Wagovi. It's unbelievable.
Govi.
But he's working out every day, too. He's going to
course.
Orange Theory and working out and pumping himself
He
full
looked
of
like Lee
stuff.
Haney the last time I saw him.
He is.
I need to get some more of that.
Played pickleball with him over the weekend. He's looking
Mr.
good.
Olympia. Lee Haney is what he looked like. 404-231-1680. We'll get to a RPO. We'll take more of your phone calls on your fan base and fan bases you think are toxic. Ryan, you've been holding. Thank you for calling us here in the locker room.
Hey, gentlemen. I'm a Georgia fan, lived on the Alabama Gulf Coast for 12 years. As bad as Bama fans are, there's nothing worse than LSU fans. They think they've won 20 national titles, more arrogant than Alabama, and they will physically fight anybody that says otherwise. It's crazy.
That is nuts.
A lot of Saturdays in Baton Rouge, and those folks are insane.
You get a bunch of Cajuns, and they've been drinking. You hear them, you see them. You hear him and see him after the game. He's right. They are in your face, loud. The arrogance.
Would you
honorable mention?
All right.
Yeah.
I've never been down there for a game. I really want to go.
They have fun.
Just a random game, or hopefully Miami's involved? Probably random.
I'd go random.
Yeah.
We're probably not going to play them anytime soon, but
yeah.
I would definitely say that is a must-visit game venue. I mean, and to get a night game in Death Valley is awesome. You spend all day tailgating. The food is outstanding. Mm-hmm. The scene is just a lot of fun.
What have you done? Have you been there as just a fan, or have you always been working?
No, I've been to I've been to all the SEC schools as a fan, except Texas, Oklahoma, and Florida. But in that one is my favorite by far.
I was like, oh, you've never been to Florida? And I forget that game's at the cocktail party every year. So
I think they should do that every few years where Florida comes.
You're not missing anything. I said it last year. The Swamp was so no. The Swamp was so overrated as a stadium.
It was old.
It's a dump. I mean,
never
it's
want to go
old,
there.
tiny bleacher seats. They're doing a huge renovation there to modernize it. I mean, guys my size don't fit in the little painted areas they have.
Cole, you're up next. Thank you for calling us here in the locker room.
Hey, y'all. Grateful to be here. Love y'all fellas. I'm an Ole Miss fan, and it's already been said, but I actually think it's a three-way tie between LSU, Alabama, and Tennessee. And just like the last guy said, every time I've gone to Baton Rouge, you'll have, you're talking about fans that will bark at you. You'll have like a young mom with like 3 toddlers following her, yelling at you, Tiger bait. And then at Tennessee,
oh boy,
if everybody remembers in 2021 when Ole Miss beat Tennessee, stopped them on a 4th down, and they threw mustard and golf balls on the field and hit Lane Kiffin in the head with a golf ball. And in my experience in Tuscaloosa, I went to Ole Miss from 13 to 17 during the Hugh Freeze days, and I was there in Bryant-Denny in 2015 when we beat them, and I was sitting in the student section, and the friends of my buddy, we're all hanging out, partying, tailgating together during the day and Friday, and as soon as the tide started to turn, so to speak, they all just turned on me, blowing smoke in my face, in the back of my head. I had to get out of there and watch the rest of the game from outside the stadium.
Nuts.
So those are my thoughts.
So suddenly it was
Tennessee, Alabama.
And suddenly the Bama fans turned into the NWO. They turned heel on you.
Chased them out.
That's crazy. No offense. That's why you don't sit in the student section of the opposing crowd.
Doug, you'll have the final say. Thank you for calling us here in the locker room.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Hope everything's well. Hey, I grew up a Michigan fan back in the 70s, and the hate between that and Ohio State, just not as advertised as much because of what the world is today with the media and everything. But, I mean, blue-collar guys who work for a living that just did not like each other, fights coming down the stands, outside, rolling down the hill outside the stadium, things like that. And today...
Thanks for the call. You dropped off a little bit.
Your phone died.
But yeah, he was going to say Alabama. He's a Michigan man. He was
said Ohio State.
No, but on the calls where he was saying, that rivalry was tough, but what he's witnessed was Alabama without a doubt. I would say and I like what the caller said. He said it's a 3-way tie. He's absolutely right. LSU, Alabama, Tennessee. You put them in the order you want to. Tennessee folks, I've seen them in action. I mean, I don't know where that starts. Does that start from your dad or your uncle
a lot
or
of
your cousins?
moonshine.
It starts early because those people have it attached to their DNA to just be over the line a whole lot.
They were mostly friendly when I went up to Tennessee years and years and years ago. I did have one, he looked like Haystacks Calhoun, if you remember the old giant set of overalls in the bathroom. He goes, I don't know what you're doing in here. I got to pee is what I'm doing in here.
That's your business, sir.
But he looked at me and I was like, this is going to take a lot of work to get up out of here.
Well, everybody's had their say. It'll be interesting to see if these things change over the next few years, if the college football playoff
You should
will create
text
new
Tracy.
villains.
You should text Tracy and see who she thinks.
Oh, I already know. She can't stand the Gators.
Really?
The Gators are number one. And then she doesn't like you guys from Miami. She said Miami, I thought Miami was on par with Florida. She said she doesn't even, that's further down the line, but it's obviously the Florida Gators.
Interesting.
They can't stand. Florida State cannot stand the Gators one bit at all.
The only thing we agree on.